G'day fellow moto luggers, Van and Ev on Samoki, the Suzuki Bandit, on this Saturday afternoon. Very pleasant day, about, I think Dodge said about 27 degrees up here in them there hills. First time I've been on Smoky for at least 6 weeks. And I have been missing off of YouTube for that long too. So let's see if I can get the story in order. Okay, why have I been missing? Well, around about 6 weeks ago I got a letter from the motor vehicles department, because I have diabetes and I've got to go and get doctor's permission to drive. Okay, so fair enough. I goes to the doctor and he filled out his part of the form but didn't sign it, because he can't sign it until the optometrist can sign off on it that my eyes are okay to still drive. Now in the meantime, I've noticed that I was noticing that when I had my eyes shut, my left eye was, I could see things that, like funny lights or something. It's hard to explain, but anyway, I went and got my eyes tested on, when was it? On a Friday. And the optometrist girl said, look, there's something going on with your left eye. The optic nerve has got a bit of a bump in it. And, I think you better go and see about it. I will contact the Royal Adelaide Hospital and let them know. I said, all right, fair enough. So in the meantime, I goes home and I gets a phone call from my optometrist where I go, not the Adelaide Hospital, and she said the Adelaide Hospital asked me to tell you to go to your local hospital, to the emergency department, and have a blood test. And I said, okay, no worries. So off I went. I got my cousin to drive me there, because it's a bugger to park, and he dropped me off at 4:30. Now, I got out of there at 4 o'clock in the morning. So that was nearly 12 hours I waited just for a blood test for the Adelaide Hospital. Anyway, that happened, and the next day, it was Saturday, and I went about my business as normal. And Sunday, when I woke up, I noticed it wasn't getting any better, this particular thing that was happening to my left eye. So I went back to Specsavers as a place, and I said, look, this isn't getting any better. Can I see an optometrist tomorrow again, and I'll tell them? And they said, yeah, all right, we'll book you in for such and such. So I went in there and they went through this and that and the other, and then she took her time, but she was ringing the Adelaide Hospital again and saying that, I'm complaining that it's not getting better, it's getting worse. So this was on the Monday, by the way, not the Sunday. So anyway, left it at that, and then I don't know I can't remember if it was the optometrist or the Royal Adelaide Hospital rung me up about 3:30 in the afternoon and said, can you come in and get here before like 5 o'clock? And I said, no, I've got to catch the train, you know. And they said, well, that's all right. Try and do your best you can and get here as quick as you can. And I went in. I actually got there before 5 o'clock, which was unbelievable. And sat there and they did all these tests, this, that and the other. So, did I go home that night? I can't remember. But anyway, no, I don't. I think they sent me back home, and they said, what we want you to do is we want you to come back and get a scan, like an MRI or whatever it's called. They scan your head. You lie in this machine for about half an hour. that was interesting. And then they had something that, I don't know, it's like when they're looking for a baby, but it's a lot smaller, and they're doing it up near your temple to see what's going on up there, because they thought it was what they call a giant cell arthritis. They were worried about that. So anyway, I had that done, and I think it was the next day. No, it was the same day. It was the same day. I got home on the, went in on the train and got home about around 4 o'clock, whatever it was, and I get a phone call from the ophthalmology, the RAH, and they said, can you come in straight away? We want you to come in and admit you straight away. Can you get here before 5 o'clock? I said, no, probably not. They said, if you don't get here by 5 o'clock, just go down to the emergency department, let them know that you're here, and we'll come and get you and take you up. So anyway, they did that, and I went in, and I had my first treatment, which was a bag of steroids, strong steroids, and you have 3 of them, because what they want to do is stop anything else happening to you in the regards of getting worse. So anyway, I had that, and I was in there for 4 days, and before I could go home, which I thought I'd only be in there for 3, but they kept me another day because of some ketone thing, and because they've got to watch your diabetes whilst you're having steroids. So anyway, that happened. Then they I was released on the Tuesday, late on the Tuesday, and I got a huge bag of drugs, whatever you like, steroids, and all sorts of different tablets that I had to take. So yeah, that was a big muddle as well. I had so many tablets I didn't know where I was, but I ended up working it all out. So then I came home and started all that sort of thing, and then they called me back on the Thursday after that. They let me out on the Tuesday to have a biopsy on my temporal artery, where they take a biopsy of the artery to see if it's giant cell arthritis. So I had that done, and boy, did that hurt. That really hurt. Even though it was dead, and I could still feel what they were doing, pretty much. So anyway, that got sent off to the lab, and it came back negative. So the doctor, my specialist, said, I want you to go off the steroids, because I was still taking heavy doses of steroids. So I had to take 75 milligrams or something for 3 days, and then 50 milligrams for 3 days, then 10 milligrams for 3 days, and then 5 milligrams for 3 days to wean me off these steroids. So all that's been done, and I'm off of them, so I'm feeling a lot better. But the whole saga is that I've lost probably I reckon at least 70% of my left eye from vision, and basically just got one eye. I've been driving the car. That's the first time I've been out on the bike. I was a bit worried that I wouldn't be very good, but I suppose yeah, I've got Dodge on my riding shotgun. Anyway, well, it hasn't been a problem riding, hasn't been a problem driving. They said your depth of perception might not be very good. I tell you what, I haven't noticed it at all. In fact, I'm probably better with one eye than two. But anyway, in the meantime, I got all my forms signed by the specialist and all that, so I could still drive. So I think I've explained it the best of my ability. I'm still a little bit on the weak side, but day by day it's getting better and building up some strength. But that 6 weeks was a bit of a nightmare, and it wasn't a good time. I didn't get to go to the Royal Adelaide show. I just didn't want to see anyone. I think it was Mr. Oz Adventure that was talking about he had a heart attack or something, and he went through similar to what I did. He didn't want to see anyone. He just wanted to be by himself and all that sort of thing. But as soon as I went off of the steroids, I started to get better within myself. So, and it's got better and better since. So hopefully I'll be able to do some more riding, because Smokey sat there for 6 weeks and wasn't ridden. But you know, she's out today and going quite well. I did have it on a battery optimizer, so that wasn't a problem. And I reckon just before I got all this hassle with my eye, I sort of knew in the back of my mind there was something wrong, and I got some stable and put in the tank and filled the tank up, because they said you've got to have a full tank, or nearly full, for a, you know, so nothing rusts or anything inside the tank. So you can still see in the fuel tank that that I put stable in it. So anyway, I think this has been long enough, and Dodge won't have to watch it because he can hear me once I've rendered it. But anyway, I just want to thank everyone, all my friends and all that have been ringing up and seeing that I'm okay and all that sort of thing, and including Dodge. He was worried as well, and other people were worried. My family were worried. But I'm on the mend, and as long as I've got my licence and I can ride Smokey with one eye, I will. I mean, I still can see out the left eye, but not as good as the right, of course. But anyway, I think I've held you long enough. This is Bandit Nev on Mulkey, the Suzuki Bandit, bidding you all very, very, very safe riding. And it is possible to still drive and ride on one eye, or with one eye. And until next time, cheers for now.